There's no surprise that the Indiana Fever looked their absolute best when Caitlin Clark was finally surrounded by players who didn't come with an ego, didn't come with a chip on their shoulder, didn't come with a personal vendetta. For once, she wasn't playing with teammates trying to prove they were the MVP of the WNBA. She wasn't being second-guessed on every possession or sidelined in her own offense. She was simply allowed to play basketball. And when that happens, when the noise fades and the court becomes hers, everything changes. What unfolded Friday night wasn't just a regular season win. It was a complete dismantling of a narrative. The Indiana Fever didn't just beat the Atlanta Dream, they embarrassed them, 99-82. That wasn't just a score, that was a message. A message to every analyst, every talking head, every hot take merchant who suggested this team might be better without Caitlin Clark. After months of relentless criticism, after enduring media doubt and internal friction, Clark and the Fever finally answered in the loudest way possible. And they didn't even need Clark to drop 30. They didn't need her to go nuclear from deep or play hero ball. They needed her to lead, and that's exactly what she did. While the stat sheet reads 12 points and 9 assists on 5 of 17 shooting, none of that captures the pulse of the game. Clark was the conductor, orchestrating every movement, directing every sequence, pulling strings with a quiet dominance that doesn't always register in the box score but transforms the entire identity of a team. Early on, the game didn't look like it would end in a blowout. Jordan Canada lit up the first half, dropping 26 points and hitting just about everything she threw up. It was a flurry, and for a moment, it looked like Indiana might buckle. But that's when the Fever's identity, led by Clark, started to rise. Despite struggling with her shot and still working her way back from injury, Caitlin didn't hesitate. She attacked. She used the physicality of Atlanta's defenders as a weapon against them, putting her head down, drawing contact, driving to the rim. And in doing so, she shifted the entire flow of the game. But no one expected what happened next. Off the bench came Sophie Cunningham, playing like a woman possessed. She didn't just score 16 points and grab 10 rebounds, she dominated. She hit dagger threes, cleaned the glass, and played with the kind of controlled rage you only see in athletes who've been waiting for their moment. The best part? She wasn't doing it in spite of Clark, she was doing it because of her. The chemistry between the two was undeniable. Every drive from Clark opened up space for Sophie. Every double team on Caitlin became an assist waiting to happen. This wasn't individual brilliance, it was synchronized basketball at its finest. This wasn't Cunningham hitting threes with the game already decided. No, she hit the turning point threes. She was the spark that started the fire. Down 52-47 in the third quarter, it was Sophie who buried a momentum-shifting three. From that moment on, the game was never the same. And yet, in the background, the voices of the critics still echoed. ESPN's Carolyn Peck had the audacity to claim, publicly, that Indiana was more dangerous without Clark. Let that sink in. The best rookie in WNBA history, the woman who shattered attendance records and single-handedly made the league must-see television, was accused of holding her team back. They said she was too ball-dominant. That her presence disrupted chemistry. That the Fever were more balanced without her. Well, where are those critics now? Friday night was cold, calculated revenge. Not the loud, brash kind, but the kind that cuts deeper because it was undeniable. The kind that silences an entire industry with one 40-minute masterclass. Because this wasn't just about Clark. This was about the entire team coming alive. Because of Clark. Kelsey Mitchell exploded for 25 points. Aaliyah Boston dropped 19 and dished 8 assists. The bench contributed 29 points. This was what happens when you let Caitlin Clark run the show. And don't let the 5 of 17 shooting night fool you. Clark may not have lit up the scoreboard, but her fingerprints were on every possession. When the Dream tried to trap her, she found Sophie. When they clogged the lane, she kicked it out to Kelsey. When the defense hesitated, she cut right through them with precision passing that can only be described as genius-level court vision. That's not just good basketball, that's generational talent. At one point, the Fever trailed 63-60 with just over 3 minutes left in the third quarter. What happened next was the stuff of legend. Indiana closed the third on a 4-0 run, then opened the fourth with an 11-2 blitz. In a matter of minutes, they turned a 3-point deficit into a double-digit lead. Atlanta never recovered. The Fever scored 59 points in the second half, their highest scoring half all season and tied for the highest in 7 seasons. That's not coincidence. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. And yes, she took a beating. Atlanta came in with one plan: physically overwhelm her. Grab her, bump her, crowd her every time she moved. It was borderline assault at times. They manhandled her early, and the refs let a lot of it slide. But Clark didn't back down. She absorbed it. She adjusted. She found other ways to control the game. That kind of mental toughness is what separates good players from great ones. Now let's talk about the other side of the court. Let's talk about Brittney Griner, or rather, where was she? The same Griner who's been vocal about her disdain for the attention Clark receives. The same one who's made headlines criticizing the hype. Well, she finished with just 10 points and 8 rebounds. 4 of 11 from the field. Her team needed a leader, a star, and she disappeared. It was Aaliyah Boston who controlled the paint, not Griner. The supposed dominant veteran was thoroughly outplayed by a second-year pro and a rookie point guard. If that doesn't speak volumes, nothing will. This was a moment of clarity for the league. A statement win. The Indiana Fever aren't just competitive when Clark plays, they're legitimate. They're dangerous. And that danger doesn't stem from ISO ball or heroics. It stems from rhythm, from spacing, from Clark's ability to make the game easier for everyone around her. And maybe now the league will start to realize that they don't need to mute her shine. Maybe now teammates will recognize that playing alongside Caitlin Clark doesn't mean being in her shadow, it means stepping into the light. Sophie Cunningham certainly figured that out. Her performance was her Indiana Fever breakout, and it's no accident that it came when Clark was on the floor. Cunningham nailed 4 of 5 threes and snagged 8 rebounds before her scoring even kicked in. That's effort. That's preparation. And that's chemistry with a point guard who knows how to set you up for success. And the best part? Caitlin Clark is still not at 100%. She's still working her way back from injury, still finding her rhythm, still shaking off the rust. But even at 70 or 80%, she's dictating tempo, reading defenses like a seasoned veteran, and turning role players into impact players. Once she's fully back, once the shot starts falling consistently again, it's over. You won't be able to guard this team. This game wasn't about shutting people up. It was about reminding everyone what basketball can look like when played the right way. Fast-paced, unselfish, high IQ, and beautifully orchestrated. Clark doesn't need to average 30 to matter. She could average 8 points and 8 assists and still be the most impactful player on the floor. Because it's not about stats, it's about presence. It's about leadership. It's about gravity. When she's on the court, defenders are forced to pay attention. And that opens up everything. So to the critics, to the ESPN analysts with hot takes to burn, to the jealous veterans who can't handle the spotlight moving, here's your reality check. Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. She's not just the future of the Indiana Fever. She's the future of the WNBA. And Friday night was just the beginning. Sophie Cunningham gets it. Aaliyah Boston gets it. Kelsey Mitchell gets it. And soon, the entire league is going to have to accept it. You don't suppress greatness. You build around it. You embrace it. You let it lead. Because when Caitlin Clark is allowed to do what she does best, lead, pass, inspire, elevate, everyone eats. And the haters, they can stay mad. What did you think of the Indiana Fever's domination of the Atlanta Dream? Is Caitlin Clark finally getting the respect she deserves? And how far can this team go if they continue playing like this? Let us know in the comments, and if you love watching greatness unfold in real time, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The Caitlin Clark Revenge Tour is just getting started. Don't blink.